Hello guys, welcome back to another update. We have some possibly good news about Helene. Is not expected to become a strong category 4 anymore. And I think that's a little bit more reasonable. However, still be ready for a strong category 3 in Florida. I'd still be, concerned about the potential impacts in Florida as well. So I'm gonna take a look at the HWRF of Helene, and you're going to see rapid intensification as we go through the model. I'm going to stop it right here near Thursday, Wednesday midnight around. This is already like a 965, 957. It's getting pretty close to Florida. That eye is becoming well defined, and it keeps on strengthening, and you start to see the southern side starts to fill in that eye automatically. But you see those outer bands of the storm, man. That is some intense tornado activity potentially. 951, 945, 944. That is probably around a category 4. And then we get into, Thursday afternoon and evening. This shows it as a landfall as potentially a 940 millibar hurricane. But you see, this is still a very concerning model trend. And we've been noticing the strength has been quite strong. And we continue it. It goes plowing through Georgia. But you see, it's still at major hurricane status all the way through Georgia. And then even the Carolinas. 967 in Tennessee, and then it's still a strong tropical storm in the Carolinas. And then we'll see the remnants circle around and potentially impact even the mid-Atlantic. We'll see what happens. But again, you get the hint. Major hurricane likely for Florida and the Big Bend region. Now let's go take a look at the HAFS A model. And you're going to see it's a little different, but you get the same idea. Rapid intensification undergoes tonight until Wednesday. You have a 958 millibar hurricane out in the Gulf, and it's just ready to charge up into this massive hurricane. 946. 944. This model is way stronger, and you see those magentas in that eye. That is some very heavy rain in those rain squalls, and these could have wind gusts well over 150 miles an hour potentially. But this would probably be the worst case scenario. 933 into the Big Bend of Florida, and oh my god, you got a major hurricane. And what is that? 933 slamming into the Big Bend region. And this is just producing devastating outer bands. Look at these bands. These could have some tropical tornadoes. It could be a tropical tornado spawner in this case. And then this storm just fans out. You see how big this becomes from that to that? Wow. This is going to be a big rain shield. And the same idea, it goes through Tennessee, and we're going to see what happens after, but it still remains around a low pressure still. So this is quite a storm, to be honest. Wow, from a category 1 we thought just a little while ago to a category 4, man. That is a huge leap in the forecast, all because of one thing changes. It could depend on a category 1 to potentially a category 5. That's how weather is. One thing changes, you either get good results or absolutely terrible results. So that's exactly what's happening here. I mean, obviously you can see that. But let's go look at the height anomaly for the GFS, how the steering currents of this hurricane. And you're going to see this rapidly intensifies before the landfall in Florida. You see a little bit of that ridge developing in the mid-Atlantic. That's going to be a huge key factor. We still don't know if this ridge is going to be strong enough, but I do think we're going to avoid worst of the hurricane impacts mostly. And this just becomes a huge... And the thing that we're watching now is this cutoff low wants to spin this. Usually in this circumstance, it will go right up the East Coast. But in this circumstance, you see that cutoff low right there in Arkansas and Tennessee. This, in fact, because the low pressure wants to steer this left, makes sense. This hurricane potential wants to go left. It gets absorbed by that, cutoff low, and it really just does some weird stuff. And then by the October 2nd time frame, you got this huge upper level air trough just digging down. And this could be a bowling ball type trough. And then we're going to be watching a little bit of a heat wave and then more potential. This could be a severe weather setup. I'm not going to lie. If you have this huge cutoff low and then you have that boundary in between, that could be the severe weather. I don't know yet, but this could be a little bit of a concerning setup. But again, a couple days ago, this wasn't showing. This showed that this cutoff low will probably be somewhere in the east, but since it's in the central U.S. now this hurricane will be steering towards, Ohio, Illinois, and Kentucky. So a very interesting change as well. If we want to take a look at the European, it's probably going to be the same idea. You got this cutoff low. Yeah, exact same spot. Literally exact same spot. But this does combine, and it just does not turn into a powerful hurricane. And then, it literally just swings out. But you got a much more stronger ridge up in the Mid-Atlantic. And then this thing just swings and combines, and then eventually it dies out. And then, same idea as the GFS, huge trough comes out of the north, and this could be some showers and potentially strong storms. We're going to have to watch out for that. But the main story is definitely Helene. So, definitely not as concerning, but still a potential major hurricane slamming Florida. Latest storm surge, 10 to 15 feet around the Big Bend region. So that's still devastating. Tornado potential. Oh, we also want to look at the tornadoes. Definitely look at that. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the NAM model, this progression of this hurricane. I'm not going to believe that this thing turns into a 904 millibar. What is that? What? 885 millibars. Okay, the NAM is hinting at a category 6. No way. I'm not believing that shit. No way. But as you can see, this does have some pretty strong bands. And what we're going to be watching is the tornado threat onshore for the whole entire part of Florida. These could have some strong potential of tornadoes from Florida to Georgia to South Carolina. You guys could see a couple strong tropical tornadoes. We're going to have to watch out for that. But the NAM, obviously, what the flip, bro. 884 millibars. Bro, I think that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I'm definitely going to post that on like a YouTube short. 885 millibars. I'm going to have to search up how strong that is, but that's like a category 6 hurricane. No, that's not happening. I mean, yesterday, yes, it was strong, but like, not a category 6. No way. But like, don't you just love when the models mess with you sometimes? They just want to put out random numbers sometimes. 884. That's a 0.000000001 chance that's going to happen. That's 1 in a Googleplex that will happen. That's how rare that is. And I don't think we've ever seen something like that. So, Yeah, don't trust the name on this, but you get the idea. And just watch out for those outer bands to come on shore in Florida during the morning and afternoon hours of Thursday, and these could produce some potentially long track tropical tornadoes. We're going to have to watch it, but we're going to have a lot of convection going on and a lot of thunderstorms, so that's going to be a huge key factor as well. So that wraps up for this video. In conclusion, it did weaken a little bit from yesterday, from that, Category 5 storm potential. It's more like a high-end Category 3, low-end Category 4 now. I'm going to be very conservative and say Category 3, not a Category 5. So, it is a potentially little bit good news, but no, Florida, that's just still bad news, but well, what can you do? It's September and the Gulf hurricane season just explodes. So, that will wrap up for this video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Actually, not tomorrow. Thursday. We might have some landfall coverage as well. Stay tuned for that. And have a great rest of your evening, Tuesday evening. And we are going to be back on this Thursday evening with the specific timing and everything for Florida, tornadoes, everything. This is going to be quite an update on Thursday, so stay tuned. This will be a little bit of a longer one, but still, if you're in Florida, you might as well start evacuating because this is a major storm. It's really going to pick up strength. And yeah, it's just not a good sign. But anyways, have a great Tuesday evening. I'll see you guys all on Thursday.